Three, two, one. Good morning. What a fantastic morning it is. So let's get everything all set up here and do the little how to get more epoxy the other day. Finished the last sword, and they're special bone handles, and oh my god, that second one sucked up about almost $30 in resin. It was thirsty. So yeah, I had to go out and buy more resin the other day. By the way, the Alumilite for the last coat worked perfect. But you don't want to mix the Alumilite resins in very large quantities, because it's highly exothermic, and it could flash off like that and just kick. Very nasty. Anyways, let's get this popped out. Select, copy, copied. Let's chat scroll. Alright, chat is live. Now let's get this shared around to the Book of Faces. By the way, I love my beard brush. This thing is fantastic. It's very nice, very comfy. Ooh. Ah. Yep, post. I was taking a hot minute to post. So, but yeah, love my beard brush. Oh, my hair out of the way. Just keeps everything a little bit nicer, don't you think? I think it does. At least when your hair is not getting caught up in it. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh man, it's been a long week and I am glad it's over. Let's see. Resin Arts and Crafts. Good morning. How we doing today, brother? Oh man. Yesterday was fun. Did not end up going to the Bronx Zoo though. We went to a Prospect Park Zoo, and you know, the traffic really wasn't bad. There's only one lady that was bad, and I forget exactly where it was. It was somewhere in New York, and you know, my exit was coming up, and So, you know, I slowed down a little bit. I was going like 60, and the exit was 45. So I slowed down a little bit. And this lady tried to get around me and pass me, but she was trying to take the same exit too. And she tried to cut me off, and I barely missed her. And let's see. So yeah, I almost got into one accident yesterday. I would have beaten that lady left, right, and center across that freeway. Gotta go to work earlier than normal today. Well, that's not fun. Ew, don't do that. So, here's the two resins that I had. This is the Mod Podge resin. That's a normal day for me. Yeah, I can imagine. You probably see some pretty stupid things being a truck driver. So here's the Mod Podge resin, and here's the aluminolite resin. I mean, both sound pretty hard. Let's crack them open and see what the properties are, you know, since they're both fully cured. And of course, since I'm going to be doing something with my hands, rings off. Because you don't want to get degloved. I mean, I know getting degloved here is probably next to impossible, but never underestimate your own stupidity. So, Mod Podge resin. Let's give this guy a little cut. This would be an interesting shotgun slug too, wouldn't it? It's about the right size and shape. Morning. Morning, Al. How are we doing today, brother? So, get this peeled out. So that's the Mod Podge resin. And this is the aluminolite resin. By the way, this is probably the maximum amount of aluminolite you want mixed all together at once. I'm always curious about you know, side-by-side comparisons, and I very rarely have such a nice opportunity. So what are we up to today, Alan? Let's see here. Let's peel this guy out. Okay, let's get all this trash thrown away. By the way, these little like pinpoint things are fantastic for detail work on resin, even though they're a bit of a pain. Let's see, Alan got the dragon copied onto a piece of sacrificial paper to transfer onto leather. All right, flea market morning, cool. All right, so Mod Podge aluminolite. Now the Mod Podge, you can see on the top of it, a lot of bubbles, very bubbly at the top, whereas the Illuminate, you still get some, but not much. There's the Illuminate. You can even see, and the Mod Podge. Considering doing a round plaque with a dragon. That'd be cool. Good morning, Jill. So, I mean, just as a squish test, they both feel pretty solid. You know, just finger tight, or finger pressure solid. So, let's grab a set of pliers. I love doing like these side-by-side comparisons just to really see what... I've got a craft question for you when you have time. You can fire away now, or if you want to talk about it over the phone, as soon as I'm done on the live stream, you can call me or whatever, but I'm always happy to answer. Let's see, so... Mod Podge. I know this is super scientific. I'm just going to squeeze the crap out of it and see what happens. Well, that kind of stuck in there for a second. So, I mean, it dented it with the teeth. Not horrible. The Illuminate, too, it actually has kind of this transversal question. Or not question, coloration in it. That's probably just how it, you know, when it was backflowing after I was done pouring it. Interesting. So, on the Mod Podge, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tooth marks. On the Illuminate, I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the Illuminate is definitely tougher. I won't be able to tell frangibility until I take it to the shop and I smash it with a hammer against the anvil. But yeah, the Illuminate is much harder, which kind of expected, but I've never done it like a side-by-side comparison. Very cool. Very cool stuff. But yeah, Jill, just shoot your question and I'll be very happy to help you answer it. Let's see. Alan, it's going to have to be roughly an 8-inch diameter circle due to the size of the dragon. I mean, about a 4-inch radius. That's not too bad. And Jill, I've got a scroll idea where I'm turning a wooden box into a scroll, but I think I need either Mod Podge or somehow laminate paper to the font so I can paint the calligraphy on it. Okay. Okay. wooden box into a scroll. So would you just be doing the top of the box, or would you be trying to do like the whole thing? See what? That's one of those plywood boxes. Trying to look like a D&D manual. I mean, morning, Eileen. We haven't seen you in a hot minute. How are you doing? All right, guys. So here's the box she's talking about. Well, the easiest way would be to sand it all down and get it to a nice uniform surface, and then use just standard white glue to glue your paper directly to the wood surface itself. White glue or any glue that'll dry clear will work perfect. I've done something similar, not quite the same, but for a different reason, and I just use regular wood glue. But you could use just the standard Elmer's glue would work. It worked just fine. And then do your, yeah, as long as it's sanded. You can't have, it will not adhere to any lacquer or anything, so you really need to sand it. And the better you're sanding, the better the application. I would, since you're putting paper on it, I would go up to 220 grit. And then do all your detailing and stuff. But since it have paper on the outside, why don't you do a test piece? Just get a piece of wood and paint a piece of paper that you are doing. Paint a similar piece of paper that you're doing for the scroll, and then put a plain piece. Glue down both pieces, and then see, and then paint the plain piece and see what happens. But since it'll be paper on the outside, you definitely have to seal it, and Mod Podge or a clear resin would be the best. Mod Podge is super easy. There is sometimes a slight color distortion, but they also have, so I mean, that could be a control test too. So once you have everything done and on there, get some Mod Podge, paint the top half, let it sit and dry, get some of that crystal clear resin, paint the bottom half, let that dry. This stuff here actually worked very well for me. I got this at Michael's. It has a pot life of 30 to 40 minutes and a demold time, which not really necessary for your project, but a demold time of 12 to 24 hours. I was able to work it 10 hours later with no issue. And it's just a simple A-B mixture, 1-to-1 ratio. And they give you all the junk in here. So either Mod Podge or this stuff. You could even borrow some of this and mix up some, and so you don't have to go out and buy any, and see how that works. Then you have your AB side to side, which works better. Then you have your AB top and bottom, which works better. But yeah, I would just glue it on there, sand it down, glue it on there. When you do that though, you want to beautiful. You'd want to make sure that you kind of, it's almost, or you could even do a you know, barge cement would work too. But when you do it, you want to make sure it you set it down very carefully, and with the glue you want it to almost be tacky instead of like gluing up a wood joint when you want to get it, you know, all soppy wet type deal and slam it together as quickly as possible. No, because too much moisture content will cause your paper to bubble and ripple a little bit, unless you have like a roller. So you want it to put on a thinnest layer of glue possible, just enough so that you can just enough so that it can tack, and then put it on there and just gently roll it. Even a rolling pin would work. My biggest worry is that my paint is going to run since it's water based. I know with the resin that won't really be an issue, because I've resined over water paints before. I'm not sure about Mod Podge. I think it should be fine. So that way, you know, so just try it out a little bit, a couple different techniques, but just sanding the box down and gluing the paper on works fine. And then you have to seal it. I mean, it would almost be, in my brain, logistically it would make more sense to glue the paper down first, because if you, and just glue a sheet that's bigger than the thing that you're trying to cover. That way you can come back and trim everything, and then you know exactly your parameters that you're working on, as opposed to trying to write everything within parameters and then kind of get everything fit on there nice. It can make things a little wonky. Resin Arts and Crafts. Sorry, can't stay. Time to head out to work. I'll be driving to Selma, North Carolina. Enjoy. That is a bit of a hike. Well, thanks for joining, Ken. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and thank you for helping make this world better, one kerf at a time. Don't get any car crashes and don't have any blowouts this week. But yeah, so in my brain, I mean, you'll have to still do your A/B testing on it, but just to see what works the best. But in my brain, it's like with leathercraft. I will do my main panel the size I want, and then the backer panel, I'll have it slightly oversized, lay everything out, you know, do my glue, lay everything down, smooth it out, and then trim the backer to match the main. So that way you get a nice clean cut. I've run into issues where I've cut two identical pieces, mirrored, and I've tried to glue them together, and no matter how careful I was, there's always a deviation somewhere. Always a deviation, and it made me so angry. But the thing you can't really change the shape of and trim it would be the box in this case, what you're laminating onto. So that would be that's your constraint. That was a really cool question. Thank you. Thank you for that. That was a really cool question. I like little thought exercises like that. That was nice. So I had a bit of a failure yesterday. Oh, a few days ago, but I'm looking at it now. So it's on my mind now. I glued up. You know how I made the lanterns? I glued them up. You you know the things. I know the things because I've done the things, and I've messed up a lot of things. I have a litany of failures, like this one. I tried gluing up the lanterns, and I glued it up, and I let it sit for a while, and just to make sure, because it's going to have to be held on by it's going to be held on by a chain, and there's going to be not much weight, but a little weight inside of there. I just want to make sure the tensile strength was there before I started putting electronics in it and stuff. And no, it wasn't. Wasn't there. I mean, nothing broke. It's just the glue joint came apart. But kind of sad making. I know the things. It's funny because I actually have a glass with that Game of Thrones quote on it. I drink and I know things. What was it? Tywin Lannister? No, Tyrion. Tyrion. But the good news is I delivered the sword to the client. He actually fell down a flight of stairs, so I had to, I was supposed to be working on the railings. I had to stop that and go back and fast track finishing his cane sword, because that's he's going to be using that as his main cane. He broke his back a while ago. So now let's see if I can get all these fit into the slots. So then when he fell down the flight of stairs, and he actually had to have multiple surgeries over the course of a few days, it was kind of important for me to fast track his cane. And I got it done. I got it to him. And he was so happy with how it turned out. He was almost in tears. Big hands really helps for projects like this, because you need to kind of have semi-equal pressure around the whole thing. So let's see if I can get this to work this time. Doing a super heavy coat. I'm not sure if the gel would work better for this, or the liquid. I figured the liquid would work best. Just so it could like soak into the wood and get into the cracks and crevices. Just open that up so I don't accidentally glue that in. Because yes, I have glued the wrong parts together before. I'm not going to glue this back panel here just because it's not quite in place yet. And I want to futz with this bottom one because it's not quite where I want it yet. Now, I'm not sure if that's a function of, you know, what that's a function of. If something's a little too small, or if it's not quite the right size. And I'm gonna call that good enough. Might glue my finger to it. Okay. And let's just do a little touch up. So Eileen, I actually need to talk to you after I get off the live stream for coordination purposes. Ta-da! All fixed. Again. Hopefully. But yeah, so I delivered that sword, and he was so happy he was almost in tears. Because that also means, one, he has a way to defend himself because he's crippled, and two, he actually has a way to move and get himself around. So I was very happy delivering that. Unfortunately, that put me behind on the whatchamajiggers, on the railings for the church. But I got the bottom rails in for the 3 that I had to get done this week. I need to finish that up tomorrow or Tuesday. Probably do tomorrow as best as I can, just to try and get everything right. But whatever. So I know I said last week no projects, but I'm working on the Star Wars themed dinner for May 4th. Awesome! The decor is centerpieces that are in fish bowls and glass jars with scenes from Star Wars. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's awesome. What are coordinating? Getting together. Because a few more things have come to light, and because I also miss your face, and seeing a little bubble in the corner there just doesn't quite do. And I guess I miss Rich too. Oh, my neck has been killing me for the last 2 weeks, and I actually have a neck massager which would straighten everything right out like that, but I can't find the power cord. So I need to make a list of projects. I badly need to make a list of projects that are either I need to do or I need to get to and do what you call it's for designs and quotes and stuff, because I have like 3 people kind of hanging out in the ether, and I need to get those, get all that addressed and actually kind of know where I'm at, because I know I need to do wedding rings very soon. I also have a sword I need to quote and get to a guy. I have a bed to build. I have those railings to finish. And what else? There's like 30 or 40 things that I really need to get done. Yes, Rich is an acquired taste. See, I think he needs a little bit more salt and pepper and a certain je ne sais quoi. Maybe paired with a lot of whiskey. Maybe some paprika. And thyme. So yeah, I need to get those. I really need to get a project list together of things I need to get done. I think those are all the ones I have pending right now. I know I have. Oh, and a credenza. I need to get that back to a guy. And I need to finish the sword that was returned. And I need to try and make a bunch of throwing daggers. And I need to make a sheath for a knife that I made that was supposed to be a Christmas gift. I'm kind of bad at this whole being timely thing. Like, kind of really bad at it. But I'm an artist. I'm a creative. You can't rush art. Or my own broken brain. And my brain is broken, make no mistake about it. But, yeah. So I really need to get a list. I have this great idea of making, getting, clipboards for every single job, and then having a rack where I have them all in order, start to finish. And then, you know, for accounting and tax purposes, because I'm going to be doing the LLC soon, on that job sheet that's attached to the clipboard, I can also attach every receipt associated to that job. And then I have the price I quoted for it. I can have the tally sheet right on there of, you know, when they paid, what they paid, and all this other stuff. I know exactly. I would know then exactly what what I charged, what it cost me, all this stuff that I'm going to need for taxes and stuff. I think that's one of the things that is most daunting to me about doing the whole LLC process, is the whole legal side of it. I guess the whole thing is. Eileen, if you go to the clipboard, get plastic sleeves to put everything in so it's protected in the shop or on travel. That is a great idea. That is a very good idea. Also gonna need like binders or like a one of those things, satchel. I can put all the clipboards in from when I'm traveling from home to the shop, because you know the office is also part of the shop, because this is where I do all the leather work and resin work and 3D printing and laser cutting and stuff. So yeah, gonna have to do something about that. Accordion file folder. Yeah, that might work too. That just might work too. Kind of want it so that I can have it like one of those papers that have the two holes at the top, and then I can have a plastic sheet that just slips over, so when I need to write something down or something, I don't have to try and slip it out. It's just peel back the protective cover, do the little whatever, and let it fall back in place, and I can hang it up. I think that would be the way to go. And that way, it won't also accidentally slip out. Because I have that problem too. I've had that problem actually when I was in the field several times working at KBA. When I was doing MS4 projects, because of how everything worked together. I like this little titanium spike. I know it's just titanium coated onto basically a junk crystal. But for some reason I was very drawn to it. Like through this blue side here, you can see a little bit of, it's slightly translucent. So you can see like the back side of one of these facets over here. Very cool. That just caught my eye. I apologize. Ooh! So, Friday, speaking of like putting the rails in, I couldn't find one of my driver bits. Specifically, one of these for putting in pocket holes. It's a square drive, so it's not like I have a bunch of them sitting around. So I had to go to Lowe's. I got a large one. I got a pack, large one and a small one. $5. $5. Actually, is that a small one too? Nope, that's two large ones. 2 large ones sitting here. More or less useless. 2 large ones sitting here for no reason. I don't even know how they got here. Anyways, went to Lowe's, and you know, it's time of year. I want to start, you know, improving the shop and, you know, planting things. And on the road side of the shop, I have about that much space. I don't want to grow anything where, you know, cars are going to be traveling back and forth, and, you know, having the building right there, anything that gets sloshed out into the air is going to get kind of hit the plant and then also bounce off the building and hit the plant from the backside. So it's going to be really kind of for consumption. However, it's perfect for flowers, right? It's the time of year, and I had a little man with me. Yeah, let's get some flowers. And we were looking around and looking around, couldn't find them because I want a specific flower. One of my favorite flowers are Johnny Jump Ups. Viola tricolor. It's a type of pansy. My favorite flowers. They're only, you know, they only grow like 6 or 8 inches tall. So I found them. Found 8, and it was reasonably priced, like $6 for a bundle. Not that bad. So I did a thing, and if I can find the picture, oh, there it is. Yeah, I planted flowers. I also need to get paint and start painting the building, because I want to do the building all black with silver trim, and I think that would look gorgeous, very classy. I think that would look very nice. And also, you know, black hides a lot of sins, so all of the really crappy, junky parts of the building would just kind of disappear. So I think that's what I'm going to do. When I'm waiting for things to glue up or finish or dry, I'm going to start going out, you know, going outside and trying to fix up the outside of the property. I also tried like shoveling and cleaning up the one side of the building, because a lot of dirt and stuff has settled against the curb and just overgrown and stuff right now, and it looks really terrible. So I want to get that all cleaned up and looking nice. I tried doing that a little bit on Friday, and I got worn out so fast. I have like 67 feet to do. Yeah, 67, 68 feet to do. I got maybe 10, more like 8, before I said this is enough. I also have an idea of making building a semi-automatic watering system, because I got one of those big barrels. I need to get it all cleaned out. I got the top cut off, and I want to mount it in the garden bed. And then when I get the roof redone, I want to have gutters, and I want to run the gutters down to the barrel. The idea being, and then from the bottom of the barrel, run a hose across the entire bed, and then out along the street, so I can just go out back and just open a spigot for, you know, a minute or two, close it, open the other spigot for a minute or two, close it, and then all the plants are watered. And I think that'd be very nice. I think that would be quite handsome, actually. But just little things like that that I need to get addressed. Yeah, little things to pretty up the whole property. I also need to get a quote on getting a new roof, because the roof that's on there, I tried fixing it like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it sort of worked, but still leaking, and I just don't have enough time to get up there and finish. And last winter I went up there and tarped everything off really good, and it worked, but not great. So there's that. So I need to find a quote on getting a roof, and I think I want a metal roof. But with the super high pitch and stuff, and how easily that roof is going to get worn down from just the way everything, all the stuff hits it, I think a metal roof would work best. I need to check local ordinance and stuff too to see if a metal roof is even acceptable in that town, and if I need to pull any permits for it. But yeah, once I have that roof done, I can also start working on like doing the attic, which is going to be super nice, because then I'll have storage space, so I can take all the crap that's just, it's not crap, but it's, past projects, it's all the stuff I have for, that I keep in stock, all my stuff I use for going to craft fairs and stuff. I can build the staircase, I can finish the upstairs, get everything done, get all the stuff that I'm not currently using put up and away. My machines and tools won't be ruined anymore, and I could really start finishing off the organization. Then I can get the electricity in there, I can get everything painted really nice. But yeah, there's a lot to do to that place. I don't really have the time or the money to do all of it all at once, which is unfortunate, because the sooner that the building is in good order is the sooner I can get organized, I can have more electricity, and it would just make everything that much nicer. And then I'd be able to make more money. But I need the efficiency to make the money. I need the money to make the efficiency. It's a weird catch-22 I'm struggling through right now. And I think maybe getting the LLC might even help with that, just because I can then get like grants or fundings or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how all of that works yet. I have friends who know things that I don't. Because unfortunately, Jill, I don't know all of the things. I just know a lot of them. But yeah, it's got to be beautiful once I have that roof on there. Then I could just focus on prettying everything up. I also want to put new windows in. And I have access to some stained glass. So I want to try and do stained glass windows where I have the bottom stationary and I have the top where I can like tilt it open or something. Not 100% sure yet. I need to look at the tile, the stained glass tiles, and see if that's something I could work with. Something I can do. Because I also really like the arched look. Cathedral arch. I know there's an actual name for it. There's a really high arc that kind of ends in a point and they kind of overlap each other. Looks really pretty. It's the pattern I did on my door. A lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff to do. Oh my God. Just sitting down and talking about it makes it realize like how overwhelming everything is. But one small bite at a time, right? And we're wrapping up on the week, on the hour, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have I have a lot to do, a real lot to do. I'm gonna be busy the next couple weeks. Jesus. I think this is gonna be a good summer. I think we're gonna get a lot done. And my game plan is to have all those projects done before fall. New roof, electricity, painted building, planted stuffs, and have the watering system. So that way I can concentrate on the inside of the building for fall and winter. Finishing the inside panels, getting the upstairs done, all that little minutia stuff. So, now, what is everyone working on for this week? I also want to get my foundry set up. It doesn't have to be a big one. I'm thinking like a devil forge. It's basically the size of a 5-gallon bucket. Runs on propane. So does my other forge. So does my gas forge. So I think that'd be really cool to start casting things. Ooh. So here's an idea I have. I want to design a fire pit. And then start having have it as a skull fire pit, where the rings of it like have skulls all on the outside, and then in the center you can put refractory skulls, skulls that are casted out of refractory in the center, so you can have a pile of skulls and then skulls on the outside, and then build your fire around that. I think that would look really nice. And I know quite a few people who would actually pay decent money for it. But I need to do the thing first. So yeah. I wonder what a good size would be for a fire pit like that. Like 4 foot? And so what's the width of a skull? 8 inches. So, let's see, if we do a 4-foot interior with a 6-inch wall, that would make a 5-foot exterior. Let's just do a quick little math and figure this out before we leave. So, the outside would be 5 foot, so pi r squared is radius, I think, 3.1415 times 2.5 squared. 19.6 feet. All right, let's take 19.6 feet and divide that by 4 sections. 4.9 feet. Divide that by divided by 12. 7 skulls per section. I think I can do that. So, what I'm going to have to do is make a wooden form to be the master. Right? So I'm going to have to take that wooden form. I'm going to do it 6 inches thick. I should probably do it. Should I do a full skull or just an upper? Because that would be 6 inches. If I did a full skull, it would be what? $11 inches. So let's say 12 inches. I think that would look better. What do you guys think? And then I could 3D print a skull, you know, full-size skull, and use that, you know, to do the center thing, and then get some nice durable silicone. I know a guy for that. Here's the thing, should the skulls be, so if I have 6 inches, should the skulls be protruding from it? Should they be half in and out, or should they be inset? And should I have the eye holes and the nose hole all the way through? So as you're seeing it, you can kind of see the eyes and nose, like the fire through the eyes and nose. All things that need to be considered, because adding those additional voids would also add additional labor. I think Scranton Craftsman sells them for $475 per ring. So if I'm doing them 12 inches, I think theirs are 6 by 6. So if I do like 600 per full ring. Because 2 feet's a decent, it's a decent thickness, don't you think? Like a decent fire pit, 2 feet for like a yard fire pit. 600 divided by 4, 150 bucks a pop. I don't think that'd be too bad. I think I can do that. And yes, you are actually watching me live conceptualize something and see how realistic it is. I think it's rather feasible. I think I can do that. I can just mix everything up, put it in the form, and walk away. Give it a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo, and there you go. You're off to the races. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's the week. That's the hour and then a couple minutes extra. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me ramble and asking me all the questions, because I love answering questions and going through these thought processes and these mental exercises. It really brings me a lot of joy. Thank you so much to my patrons over at patreon.com who make content like this possible. and allow me the ability to, they basically pay for me to prototype things. So all the prototyping, all the materials, and a lot of the learning I do is because of my patrons. So if you want to see things accelerated, if you want to see the building get done faster, please go over to patreon.com/Knightsmith and donate. Even $1 a month helps. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And thank you for helping make this world better, one kerf at a time. And see y'all later.